Welcome to On the Spot. I'm here with Fahad. He's a partner friend of mine from Canada, across the border. We know each other since Clubhouse days. But go ahead and introduce yourself, Fahad, and we'll go from there. The floor is yours.
Yeah, certainly, guys. I'm Fahad Farhat. I'm the founder of Art of Greatness. We basically have been in real estate for a number of years. Real estate sales, we help a lot of investors, buyers, sellers, and then we've got a property management division that is across the US and Canada. We're already in Florida. We expanded there a couple months ago. We run short-term rentals for clients and maximize their returns. We rank in the top 0.1% essentially of every Airbnb market that we're currently in. We're across Muskoka, Toronto, and across the GTA for Ontario, as well as Miami and Orlando as of right now. And then we've also got an academy where we help agents scale their business. So
nice. Good stuff. So you wait for On the Spot, wait for these questions. Ready?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm ready. You just fire off, brother. Whatever,
Okay.
whatever you have.
All right.
We'll have some fun with this.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the real estate market as far as it's going right now? What do you think is going to happen and prediction in the future? What do you think?
I think there's two ways of looking at this. I think there's the short term and then there's the long term. I think short term, there's a lot of uncertainty. I think the political state of Canada and the US, where we actually have elections in the next month, essentially on April 28th, we actually have election day. So there was a snap election that was just called about a week ago. So we're in an odd space that you guys were in a couple months ago, right? From November essentially. And I think with the situation with the tariffs, with the situation with the stock markets, with people generally liquidating their assets quite a bit at this point in time, I think we're likely going to see a decline in the real estate market in the next few months. I think there's going to be a few ups and downs, small ones. I don't think it's going to be massive, but I do see it declining a little bit for the next 6-ish months. And then as these rates start to come down again, because history is going to repeat itself, rates are going to come down. We're probably going to hit 1.5 to 2% overnight lending rate here. You guys will probably get to 3.5 to 4 points there, because you guys are above 6 right now. We're in the 4s right now, or right around 6. So I think both of those will come down. And historically speaking, US and Canada kind of follows the States, and our rates are almost always just slightly lower by a point and a half in general. I think as those rates end up coming down, more buyers will come into the market. But one of the things that we're seeing in the Toronto Real Estate Board is we have 35,000 active listings. And I think by next month, end of next month, we'll probably hit 40,000. There's a lot of people entering the market right now and they want to get out or liquidate. I think that will drive prices lower in the short run. But I do think in the long run, we will continue to see increases, but I don't think it's a year. I think it's 2, 3, 4, 5, where it starts to really come back. And I don't foresee these COVID-like increases that were 10, 20, 30 points in certain markets. I think it's going to be slower and more realistic of that 2, 3, 4%, and that slow, short comeback of the market over the long period of time. Because even historical appreciation for us in the Toronto market has been 7%, close to 7 for the last 45 years. And you're in the Bay Area, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's at in the Bay Area. It's probably
We're like 775, 765 around there.
Yeah,
I mean 665, 675, yeah, around there. So, but they've hit 7s.
Even the Florida market, like Miami in general, has been up well over 5%, right? Like across a 20, 25-year average. So everything's seen its appreciation, and we've obviously seen the peaks during COVID, and we're, I believe, close to the bottom, but who knows where the bottom really is, right? These are all predictions, and we try to guide people to the best of our ability, but at the same time, there's a ton of uncertainty. I don't think the tariffs help. I think the political situation here especially needs to change. In all frankness, the liberals gotta fucking go, but I'm just being completely straight about it. They've fucked up the economy for the last decade, where you guys have grown, and this is a fun fact, right? Like, if we're sharing facts, in the last since 2015 to 2025, the US GDP has grown over 20%. The Canadian GDP has grown, guess the number, Steven. I'll give you 3 shots.
More than us? Three.
0.5%.
Wow.
0.5%. That's wild. Like,
Yeah.
it's just unfathomable. And then on top of that, a lot of the controls that are being put on, a lot of the censorship, I think the ideology, the things that they're driving, it's just not ideal. And this comes from someone, I don't want to get too political here, but this comes from someone who's historically always been liberal on that side. Now I'm like, okay, like something shifted, because in the past it was liberals teeter-tot in the middle, which would be our Democrats essentially, and then conservatives were so far out that you felt like you saw eye to eye with the liberals. Now it's the other way around, where the conservatives or the Republicans are kind of the normalcy, and then the other side is so far out with their ideologies and the bullshit they're feeding our children. But that's just what I believe. Whether you agree with me, disagree with me, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where you're at with that.
People have their opinions, and you just gotta respect them, and go from there. And
yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I think, like, as a father especially, I look at these things and I'm like, what do I want my kids going through? What kind of education? What are they being taught? Does this make sense? Is this the ideology that we want to shove down everyone's throats? Like, I think at the end of the day, you should respect everyone, respect their right to be who they want to be, and respect their right to live their life the way they want to live their life. But let's not force everyone else to do it.
Yeah.
But we can be
real
respectful.
quick.
That's very important.
Real quick, who's your prediction for the election in your country? Who's going to win?
I think the conservatives. The pre-polling currently, and it's wild because PBD, Patrick Bet-David, came out with a reel about a week or 2 ago.
Yeah.
Because a couple months ago, Pierre Poilievre from the Conservatives was 90% favored to win the election. And that's before Trudeau pulled out. Now he's around 45%. So I don't know what's happening, but we've had the same government essentially for the last decade, and we've gone nowhere with the GDP. We've had more controls put on. Like, the people don't know this, but there was a convoy that went out during the COVID time, the Freedom Convoy. The Liberals actually froze their bank accounts. That's like, there's some messed up stuff in there. There's a lot of stuff that I don't agree with, and I'm not leaning 100% one way or another. I think there's good in all parties, and I think that's the way you have to look at, like, how do you eliminate the bad that's there by bringing in some of the good? But I think we're just at a point where we need that flip, and I feel like that's where the U.S. was for the last 4 years of everything that had happened, and the mismanagement across the board of COVID, of misinformation, of the blockage on free speech, of banning people that state their opinions on X or on social media, news outlets, like all of the above, right? So we've kind of gone through something very similar in the last 4 years, and I think we're gonna hopefully follow suit and end up turning the government and start to see ideally somewhat of a change. Do I think it'll be a 180? No, things take time to flip, just as they do in the US, but I think at the end of the day, it's madness continuing to go the way we have the last decade, essentially, and the last 4 years.
Cool. Let's go with this one. You want to share a struggle?
Ooh, there's so many, man.
Yeah.
There's so many. I think in life, I want to say this. I've been blessed. I've had my 2 parents who've raised me with great values. I think when I have hit places where I've been unemployed for a period of time, I'll give you the example. I had left Saks Fifth Avenue. I essentially parted ways with them on a mutual agreement where we parted ways. And when I left retail, I was the director of operations for Saks Fifth Avenue Canada, and I had a large-scale team. And that year, I wasn't really sure what was going to happen. I ended up spending 6 months trying to figure out what I wanted to do. That's when I got my real estate license back in 2018. That's when I decided to go to school and study for these 5 exams. It was really easy. Anyone can do it at the end of the day. Getting your license isn't a big thing. But you kind of go through a lot of soul searching and the struggle of how do you make ends meet? What are you going to do? Are you going to deep dive into something not knowing how much money you're going to make? And the real struggle is really trying to live day by day, not knowing what's next, and being able to still have a positive outlook. And I think we all face struggles in different ways. Even in my business, I'd been working about 90-hour weeks from October all the way through to January, which was a massive struggle, but the business was starting to turn into something that was being very successful for our clients, for our guests, and being able to build something. I can think of so many, man. Like even in managing people, I've had people yell at me, walk out on me, but understanding that the only person that you can truly control is you, your attitude, what you bring to the table, whatever you have inside of you is what truly comes out. So I think focusing on yourself as a person, on bettering yourself every day, and whether it's from a sales standpoint or a leadership standpoint or an entrepreneurial standpoint, I think we can all improve in so many ways. And the struggles are what truly define you, right? It's not the wins. Yeah. It's the struggles where you step back and you're like, okay, I need to do X, Y, Z better. And I truly believe in like improving every aspect of your life every single day. I also believe in coaching, not because I'm coach. Like I have 2 coaches personally. You coach yourself, right? You coach a basketball team. Yeah. Different, but within the real estate or the entrepreneurship or the leadership realm or the sales realm, I think we all need to improve at so many things. There's no one that's at the top, period, that doesn't need to improve, right? So I think just being able to level up your life in many, many ways, whether it's your relationships or your work side, will go a long way. It's not the wins, it's the struggles that will define us at the end of the day, and it's how we learn from them and move on. Instead of getting frustrated, down on ourselves, beating ourselves up, what's that gonna do, right? Like there's this big thing, there's 1,440 minutes in a day. Are you gonna let 2 or 5 minutes fuck up the other 1,435? That's kind of the idea. But having a positive outlook is really important. I think what you output brings back a whole lot.
Cool. Good thoughts. Good share. How about a quote? You got a quote that you use daily?
A quote. There's a couple.
Okay.
There's so many. Okay, I'll give you a historical one that I've always used, and I still believe in this to this day. I've used this for like 2 decades. This is Winston Churchill. Success is the ability to go from one failure to another with no loss of enthusiasm. That's with Winston Churchill. And then there's a couple from right now that I love. If I wouldn't starve with you, I don't want to eat with you. I don't know who that's from. That's a really good one. And there's so many, man. I'm blanking right now, but I might come up with a few others. But yeah, there's a ton. There's a ton. There's a lot of stuff that Hormozi says, Dan Martell says, a lot of these guys that are mega entrepreneurs, Gary Vee says, like, there's so much to gain from all these podcasts that we listen to.
Yeah. All right, we'll switch topics and go with this one. What show you watch nowadays on Netflix or Apple TV or Prime? You know, what are you watching?
So I was on Amazon Prime. I was on Lots Listings Toronto. I was on the TV show. But funny enough, I don't even have Amazon Prime anymore because I had to shift my personal account to my business account, and it took away the Prime access. I don't really, if I'm being completely honest with you, I don't watch any TV. I'm not on Netflix ever. I'm not on Prime ever. I think the last show I watched on Netflix was Squid Games, the first one. I think there's a second one out already.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna watch it.
But that was the first one. Favorite TV show of all time, I'd probably say, I think the best TV show of all time is Breaking Bad. Loved it. I thought character arcs were incredible. Character development was insane. I really like Game of Thrones, but I thought they ruined it the last like 2 seasons. Back when I used to, I guess, watch TV. And I love, have you ever seen Entourage?
Parts of it, yeah.
Entourage is a fun, like,
Yeah.
it's like Friends, right? Like, you can pick up any episode, watch it anytime you want. It's more of a guy's show. It's a guy's show. It's a fun thing to watch, though, at any point in time. But honestly, I don't get around to it. Usually, I'm in bed on my laptop while my wife is watching Selling Sunset, Dubai Bling, to like whatever else is on in the background. I have no idea. I am more interested in the documentaries, though. I do like docuseries about like aliens or some cool stuff like Area 51. I like digging into the rabbit hole into that. It's fun to do, but no time for TV at all.
Gotcha. Okay.
How about you?
Well, I watched House of Dragons. That was all right. I thought it was good. Game of Thrones spin. It's gonna get better, I think. I think Game of Thrones kind of started off slow. Then season 5 and 6, people talking about it. So once you start getting the thick of it, it gets better. Then Bachelor I watch, and then I watch the Pat McAfee show. He's on in the morning. So things like that. About in sports and stuff. But yeah. So let's talk a little bit of basketball. Who's on your Mount Rushmore?
All right, this one. So Mount Rushmore or starting 5? Or
you got your Mount Rushmore. You can put in a 5th in there, but we're going with a 4.
Yeah, we can do. Look, if I'm starting 5 is different than a Mount Rushmore, right? I think it's so because the starting 5 you're now building a team and you need cohesion. But essentially, like I know a lot of people. Obviously, there's LeBron and Jordan. I think that's not debatable at all. I don't care who you are, unless you're Skip Bayless, who thinks LeBron is like 9th all time.
Yeah.
Skip's fucked in the head. That's what I have to say. Because he thinks LeBron's 9th. LeBron's 1. Or 1B. Whatever you want to call it. Where do you think LeBron ranks? I want to know.
I mean, I have him like 5 or 6. I mean,
you have 5 guys ahead of LeBron.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's get into it. Go ahead. You're 5 ahead of LeBron.
Yeah, so I have Jordan, I have Kobe.
You have Kobe at number 2?
No, mine's Jordan. Mm-hmm. I like Kobe, Jerry West, and then Dirk Nowitzki. That's my 4. Okay, now Jerry West because of the logo, and then Dirk because of the best European player I think that's played as far as now, who is what he's done. But and then I'll go like Steph, Shaq, and then LeBron. Like that.
Okay, so I have So these are the way you're ranking them. Is you're ranking them as your favorites, who you love the most. And
well, I think just based on the game, what they've done, I mean, LeBron's there. He's in that. As far as longevity and points and stuff. But I just feel like, if he would have done it all at one team and done it and did all this, then he'd probably be like 1 or 2.
But he did it with different teams, different coaches, different teammates. Took every team to the finals. Went to the finals 10 years in a row.
Yeah.
Which I don't get why he gets knocked for. I've still never understood.
Yeah, no, it's still good. Yeah, he had that run.
The Jordan LeBron thing. I'm arguing that how the hell is LeBron lower? He's got 5 rings. He's made it to
4 rings, right?
Multiple finals, but the other guys never get knocked for losing in the first round. The other guys never get knocked for not making it past certain teams. Yeah. The other guys never get knocked for an easy path to the championship. But in which one of those 6 losses in the finals was LeBron favored, with the exception of the Mavs? Like the Mavs, I understand. The Mavs have had single-handedly the greatest finals run or playoffs run in the history of basketball, period. Like, there isn't a better story, because they beat Kobe, they beat Duncan, they beat LeBron in the finals. Like,
and they beat KD and those guys
in the Western Conference Finals.
It was Harden and Westbrook,
which was, I thought, their best chance to win a championship.
Yeah.
But here's what I don't get. Like, with doing all that, right? Obviously, Nowitzki's an all-time great. He obviously doesn't get better than LeBron with 1 championship, with 1 championship run. So, like, realistically speaking, for me, I think LeBron is one. I think Jordan is one. Like, you can tie them, or you can do a 1A, 1B, however you want. I know the six straight finals wins. But when Jordan left Pippen and the Bulls, how many wins did they have that season? You know?
I mean, they fell off. I know that. They weren't the same.
57 wins. When LeBron left the Cavs, how many wins did they have? 19. Like, I'm just sharing with you the sheer understanding of, like, and I'm like a stats guy. I've dug deep into this, and I'm not, once again, making this LeBron versus Jordan. I'm just saying LeBron is substantially higher. And I get the Kobe thing. I think with Kobe, there's a lot of. I went to his last game in Toronto. I'm a diehard ball fan, by the way. Like, I love basketball, and I haven't really been watching anything the last 2 years. Just been so busy. But I still somewhat follow it. I have an idea with what's going on. But for me, I'd say if I'm doing a starting five, I think LeBron, Jordan, automatic. They're in there. I would go Steph over Magic. Although I think Magic's resume with the 5 rings and the fact that he did it as a rookie and the fact that he carried a team, right? Like, he also had Kareem. So there's also, Kareem was older, but he had Kareem. Kareem's one of the greatest. I think at the center position, you have to put Shaq, right? Like, I think Kareem's got the better resume, sure, and Kareem's a better all-time great, but Shaq's the more dominant 5. So we've got, and then now, depending on how you want to play the 4, you're either going to push LeBron to the 4, bring in KD, and I'm not saying he's a top 5 player by any means. I don't think he is. He doesn't even crack the top 10 in terms of resume. I think Tim Duncan is a top 5 player of all time. He's the greatest power forward to ever play. I think if you're going big, like, natural positions, then you go Tim Duncan here, and then you got Shaq. But you can also take out Timmy, move LeBron to the 4, play small ball, put in KD, and then you've got length. But the only thing with this is you need another, I would like another shooter. So I'd take KD. Yeah. And I'd bring Kobe off the bench. I think Kobe's I love Kobe, and I've hated Kobe all my life. I was a Boston Celtics fan early days, so he burned us a bunch of times.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things. I was a Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen fan. So with Kobe specifically, it was a love-hate relationship, but a ton of respect for Kobe. Absolutely love what he stood for, the workmanship, the work ethic, the Black Mamba mentality. It's a beautiful thing because his legacy will always live on. And I don't knock anyone that has, for my brother, his number 1 is Kobe, right? Just like you, I think you ranked your top 5, your favorite players. And I think Nowitzki, I have nothing against him. I think he's fantastic. Loved his run. And I also remember, you remember when the We Believe Warriors beat Nowitzki? The first season? That was such a good series, man. That was Baron Davis, Matt
Steven
Barnes,
Jackson,
Dante Ellis. Was Ellis on their team?
Monte Steven Jackson. He had Matt Barnes.
Bro, the We Believe Warriors back in the day were insane. It was such a fun time to watch basketball. That was such a cool thing. And you wish they had this fairy tale run to the finals, but then they lost, I think, in the next round. They got killed too.
Yeah.
It's ball is life.
Was it the Jazz they lost to, I think?
Who else? Sorry?
The Jazz beat them, or did they beat the Jazz? I think the Jazz.
I can't remember. I don't remember who beat them that second round. Jazz are garbage, man. They'll always be garbage. Right? Who do you think is favorite right now? How would you rank them?
Boston, I think, and then OKC, I think, are the top seeds, I think, out west.
So you think OKC in a playoff series, and I know they're doing really well. I think they're first, right, by far in the West. I think OKC will have a tough time with the Nuggets.
The Nuggets are a little older now, but I just feel like OKC's young, and that
run and gun
SGA is good.
SGA is insane.
No, so and they got Ched. They just got young guys around them, and it's they're 23, 22, 24. When you're playing against 30-year-olds, I mean, you got fresh legs, dude. That's how it is.
Fair. And what about the Lakers? You think the Lakers stand a chance?
They do. I mean, I'm a Mavs fan, so the train was bad for Luka, but I'm like, what are you guys doing? So like, they're good. I mean, Luka could get them there. You never know, you know. And then the finals is a toss. You never know. So we'll see. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, they'll struggle with the big man
Yeah.
and defense. Like those two, they'll put up points. I think they'll put up points, fine.
Yeah.
But I think like you go up against the Joker in the West, you have no answer for him. No one can
Yeah.
guard him. And the Joker's like the numbers he puts up are like goat like numbers. Let's be honest, right? Like his
Yeah.
points, assists, rebounds, like everything across the board, and the impact he has on the game. He should technically win MVP over SGA. Technically.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
who knows?
Who's your goat then? I'm guessing LeBron, huh?
I think it's LeBron. I think with everything the way it's gone, I think it's LeBron. I think from a longevity standpoint, not just that, but also driving every team to success, driving the peers to success, being able to give in any hand he's been dealt and be successful with it, and get each team to the finals. And put up a fight, right? Like there's times that he got his ass handed to him, but once again, if you look at the Spurs or the Warriors, and I'm not going to count Dallas, right? Like essentially, LeBron's losses have generally come there. The Spurs and the Warriors, with those two teams, there is nobody that Jordan went up against that were half as good as those teams. Half as good. And when he did, he lost in the first round. He never got past the first round before Pippen came.
Yeah.
Right? Like these are all facts to look at. So it's like if we're looking at it as a full career and not looking at 6 years versus 5 years versus like the losses, because I think that's what people look at. But when you look at the full body of work, yeah, 100%. I think LeBron is better. I think it's one and then two. And I don't think Kareem's far behind, and I think it's maybe 2A, 2B, because Kareem had a ton of success. And I think Kareem, Magic are right there. I think the old heads like Larry Bird may not get enough credit because it's a different game now, right? Like, I think for those that have gone back and watched some of that stuff, there's some old dogs in there that were definitely all-time greats. But also the game has evolved a lot. But if I had to pick, I'm going LeBron over Jordan.
Okay. Cool. All right, we'll go with this. Switch it up. What are your thoughts on March Madness college basketball? Are you doing a bracket? You following that a little bit, or not really? What's your thoughts on that? Zero.
Never followed it. I couldn't tell you who's in, who's out.
Do you know who Cooper Flag is?
Yeah, Cooper Flagg's going to be the first pick next year, and he might even go to the Spurs again. So it looks like the Spurs are taking Wembanyama's out for the year, and man, they should shut everyone down and get CP3, Cooper Flag, Wembanyama. Like what? Yeah. He's the hottest thing since I guess Wembanyama came into the league. Yeah. So, because this past year, who went first overall this past year?
It was who was it?
I can't remember. It wasn't a memorable draft though by any means.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of those drafts that you're like, hey, this guy's gonna make a difference.
Yeah.
And we haven't had one of those in a couple of years now.
Yeah.
We had it since before Wembanyama. It was Zion. Zion was the last like, this guy's gonna kill it.
Yeah, it was who was it? Hold on.
I have no idea. But I don't really I once again don't follow any March Madness, any NCAA teams. I have no idea about it.
Zaire Rasheer, got from France.
Oh God, no idea. Yeah, he was a lanky like 7-footer. Yeah. Something. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Let me see. What's something you did in the pandemic?
Remember when? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'll ask you this one about this question. But go ahead, finish your thought real quick.
No, I was just saying it's like when the Raptors, I think, ended up getting Bruno Caboclo or something. They're
I thought you were talking about Bargnani, I thought. He was a good pick
Bargnani
too.
shit too, but he's 2 years away from being 2 years away, was the quote they said. That's what I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like with that French guy. He's 2 years away from being
Yeah.
2 years away.
Mm-hmm.
But Bargnani was garbage. That was our worst first overall pick. But I think Anthony Bennett for the Cavs was worse.
Yeah.
Bargnani had a better career than Bennett. Bennett was out of the league in 6 years, I think.
I know. Crazy.
There's also Bynum was shit. Bynum was absolute garbage. That was the Lakers. Your side.
Yeah, I know. Let me ask you this. What's something you did in the pandemic that you didn't do before that you carried over or used?
Something I did in the pandemic that I didn't do before. I think as time has gone on through the pandemic, I've had a lot of realizations and shifts in my personal mindset of the way I look at life in general.
Yeah.
I think it allowed you to be grateful for what you have. I think there's a lot of people that went through a ton of uncertainty and like bad times where they had family pass away, they had a lot of stuff happen. So you learn to cherish everything that you have and just thank God for whatever it is that you have and be grateful, because there's a lot of people that don't have half of what we do, and I think a lot of times we take it for granted. That's one, and the other thing is building a very strong mindset to really better yourself every single day, whether it's in your health, your wealth, your career, your family, with your wife, your kids, whatever it is. I think it really taught me to focus on the things that are most important and really put in the work, cut out the bullshit. And I think over the years, one of the things I've realized is, my friend circles, I have like one friend, in all honesty. I don't really have friends. I have acquaintances, I have people I work with, I have coworkers, and I have a lot of a great network of people. But as in close friends, I think the smaller it is, the better it is. You learn to realize that people are growing with you, they're actually growing with you back. And the other big realization, and this was more in the last 2 years, is just start letting go of people. And you are pretty much the sum of your 5 friends. If your 5 friends are always late, you're the guy that will always be late. If your 5 friends are fucking failures, you'll be a failure. If your 5 friends are XYZ, you're gonna end up, and if you surround yourself with truly successful people, and success isn't, I don't mean success as in money. Success is a mindset. I firmly believe that. I think the people that are successful at one job to another will always be successful at what they do, or one career to another. And winners. Steven, people that you've known for the last 20 years, since you were in your 20s or teens, you're in your 30s, right? Yeah.
About the same age.
So we've known people that have always been successful, never complained, put in the work, and they'll take that everywhere they go, because hard work is a habit. Success is a habit. It's work ethic that counts, and your ability to take the criticism and build yourself up stronger than you were yesterday. And I firmly believe in that. I firmly believe in bringing positivity into your life and looking ahead. No matter what you're going through, sometimes you feel you're at rock bottom, but instead of, and this isn't a quote from me, this is from someone else, but I don't know who, but you haven't been dug into your grave, you've been planted to be able to grow. And if you think positively and you're at your rock bottom, there's nowhere you can go but up. It's only up from here. It's not about the tough times that you have, it's about just looking forward. Don't let those tough times once again define the rest of your life. We all may have been dealt a tough hand at some point in time. I know so many people that were unemployed, got fired, had issues, had marriage issues, got divorced, and then they ended up turning it around. They went through struggles for years, couldn't make anything of themselves. And then they run multi-million-dollar companies. How does that happen? But you've got to persevere, right? I think these are things that I learned over the last few years, and I think the sooner someone learns it, whether it's through experience, through a coach, through however it is that you get your knowledge, through learning, watching videos, I firmly believe in spending time every day. One of our non-negotiables as part of the coaching is, we've got 5. One of them is is spending time learning, 30 minutes a day learning. Like I spend at a minimum 60, sometimes 90, it depends on the day, but the commitment is 30. I'm usually 60 to 90, but I'm trying to learn something, trying to see what else I can add to my life that's of value, to my business that's of value, and who am I looking at, right? Like who am I getting my advice from? And being very specific with who you want to go to, because they need to have the right mindset. If they're not where you're at, and this is another thing that you realize is your family side, right? Your family is sometimes like they want to push you forward, but sometimes they're the ones holding you back. They're the ones like, because they have this mentality and they haven't accomplished what you're about to accomplish. If you're going to be the first millionaire, the first guy to 10 million, the first guy to 100 million, are you going to go take advice from someone that's never made 10 million or 100 million or a million or run a company? Where are you getting your advice from? I think that's the way you have to look at it is based on that, like, I love you, I appreciate you, but I'm going to do me. I appreciate the advice. I said this to my sister, love her to death. She's like, I see you're on social media a lot, you're posting a lot. You're getting in front of people a lot. I feel like, culturally as well, people lie. There's also these, superstitions that we all have. And, a lot of people believe in the evil eye. And I'm not saying don't believe in it. I'm just saying, guys, if you want something, you got to go for it. I know what I want. And I love you, sis. You're not where I want to be. You're not where I'm going. And she's very successful in her own right. But we've got different paths. And it's about understanding what your path is and being true to that. And I know I've got so much clarity in what I'm doing and what I need to get done, that's a big focus of mine. Like Instagram, I've got 2,100 followers? 2,100, that's not a whole lot. My last, I think 30 days, I had 40 something thousand views on my profile. I have 200 followers on another profile, which is our Art of Greatness one, really small. And I had 16,000 views in the last 30 days. I've had months of my biggest month was 96,000 views. Most people don't get that if they have 25,000 followers, right?
Yeah.
It's not about, and I don't pay for followers, it's organic growth. I'm at 2,000. I've had so many people ask me to purchase that, but it's not about that. It's about putting out real content, the real me, right? Like the authenticity, I think, is really important, and be true to yourself. And if you're not there yet from a mindset perspective, figure out how you're going to get there. Figure out how to shift it. Figure out what's happened and how do you put it behind you. Use it as a learning curve instead of falling back and being like, I'm the fucking victim of everything that's happened. Versus saying, you know what, I fucked up here. Here's what I can control. And focus on what you can control. Who cares about the rest, right? Sorry, I went on a tangent. But I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm very passionate about truly putting out stuff into the world that will ideally help people.
Yeah. Good thought. What is your dream car?
Ooh. I don't officially have one. I'll tell you what I like.
Okay.
I really like Porsche 911 Turbo.
Okay.
Like the GT3 RS, beautiful, don't get me wrong. I'm an understated kind of guy. I'm not overstated. I don't do logos. I don't do a ton of brands. Mind you, I've got my own logo, Art of Greatness, but I'm not, if you see me, you won't see me with a big patch. Even if it's branded, I don't care for anyone to know what I'm wearing. I don't need to show it off to people. I honestly wouldn't matter, but if money weren't an option, pick up a Porsche, pick up maybe an SF90 Ferrari. I'm a bigger Ferrari fan over Lamborghini. The Koenigsegg's are beautiful.
I thought you'd be like a Ferrari Lamborghini guy, I thought. Just
Ferrari over Lamborghini. I think it's slightly more classy than the Lambo. The Lambo I'm not as big of a fan of. Just a personal thing, but I know a lot of people love Ferraris. I'd even do an RSQ8 over a Urus, I do a Urus over an RSQ8. It's essentially the same car with $100,000 higher price tag. If money weren't an option, which hopefully it won't be, if we weren't capped in a little bit of time, hopefully we build an empire, right? The goal is to not $1 million. The goal is to build a fucking empire where you don't have to look at the price point to be able to buy something. But if you want to be able to do that, you've got to not be able to look at the watch when you're working, right? Stop looking at the clock when you're putting in the hours.
Yeah.
Another quote. See, we've had a couple quotes come up through the conversation.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on an EV car?
We actually had an iX. Got it for my mom. She really liked it. She loved it. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was horrid. I thought from what you pay for the vehicle and what you get is brutal, because like.
So you're a gas guy then?
I was not a fan of it. And now she's got a Tesla Model Y Performance, and not because we wanted the performance for my mom. I could care less. It was like a year and a half old, essentially. Yeah. I went to buy one that was long range. We first bought a Mach-E. So fun story. We bought a Mach-E. It was a year old and it depreciated like fucking 40 grand or 30 grand. Something stupid. Brand new MSRP was 69 and change on like their top model of the Mach-E, Ford Mustang Mach-E. And we ended up buying a 1-year-old 2024 with like 20,000 kilometers, so like 12, 13,000 miles essentially, for 42. So like 30 grand less than MSRP from a year ago. But they're not worth the MSRP anyways, right? So we pick it up, have it for 3 days, and it turns out to be a fucking lemon. Like everything just stops. All the electronics stop. Now it's under warranty, nice, but when you buy a car, you can't really return it, right? We've driven it off the lot. I think my brother ended up hitting one of the like curbs with the door as well, so the door had a dent.
Oh wow!
I go back to the dealership. I talked to them and I tried to get an exchange on the vehicle. I'm like, look, guys, can you guys do something? We bought it 3 days ago. They did have a 700 kilometer exchange program, but EVs don't apply. So EVs were
wow!
They wouldn't do anything. I didn't actually go to. I spoke to them once, twice. And then I dropped the car off, spoke to them again. I'm like, guys, what are you guys gonna do? Then I physically just showed up. And I spent 3 hours at the dealership chatting with the GSM, the manager. They said they wouldn't do anything. And then eventually I was able to convince them to do something. I was like, guys, we'll pay you a little bit more. What's your cost? I was hoping it'd be like $600, $700, $800, whatever the cost of the flip is. We'll do it. We'll pay you. They came back with $4,500.
Wow.
Is what we wanted to change the car after 3 days. To get us into a Tesla, because the long range was sold, and then we ended up getting a performance, but it's paid about $1,800 more to get out of that car. But best decision ever, because that Tesla is so much better with the autopilot, with everything, the whole nine.
Yeah.
It's a good car. I would consider getting the one I really like right now. I like big SUVs, so I would consider the Escalade IQ. But I think the price I've seen, $160K. I don't know. It's like 100. That thing's going to depreciate to like 120 in a year. So I pick up a year old for 120 probably, because EVs are getting hit so hard. There's a Mercedes EQB that I got an email about, 95,000 MSRP, going for, and these are Canadian dollars, right? Everyone's thinking they're not that expensive. Guys, we're like 1.5 more than you guys are. So add 50% to your currency is ours. So. The EQB 94 and change MSRP down to 55,000 or 58,000 is what the dealership is selling it for. The Mercedes dealership, like the EVs are losing heavy value. They're not valued at what they're selling for. And these I guess what are they called? These rebates? They're all bullshit. The rebates don't mean anything. It's just a way for the car manufacturers to make more money essentially. The rebates that come back, they basically, if you're getting a rebate of $5,000. Instead of selling for 50, they're going to sell for 55. They're making the extra $5,000. You're still paying for it. So the rebate's technically going to the dealer, not to you. You're just paying the extra price. Regardless, that's why they depreciate so quickly. But I do think two things here. One, EVs aren't all that bad. But if I were to buy one, I need like 600-700 kilometer range, because I go up to Muskoka a lot. We have a few properties there that we short-term rent, manage, and run for clients, or we set up properties. I don't have to personally go there, but sometimes my team goes there, and every now and then I'm there, like once a month, once every 2 months. But I think EVs, what if, did you ever watch that movie, The End of World, on Netflix or wherever it was? where like the
No.
Tesla started driving by themselves?
Oh, I
Computer
know.
controlled cars. This is
No,
conspiracy.
that was what was that one movie that had that they all the networks shut down. That one I saw with the Teslas. That was called uh,
I can't remember, man. It was
where the planes like
was
like.
it Denzel's
Sure,
son who was in it? I can't remember.
I don't know. I'm thinking of a
He was
different movie. I'm
one of the main
thinking.
characters. But yeah, long story short, I think having an EV and having the government be able to control everything it is that they can do, or anyone be able to go in and control your vehicle, if they don't want you to drive, right? They shut down our businesses during COVID.
Yeah.
They shut down the economy during COVID. Everyone got fucked essentially, where they shouldn't have. That's the reality. And in hindsight, they came out with these bullshit vaccines that were fed to everyone, and more people died because of the vaccines than not. But whatever you believe, but bullshit vaccines with no studies, nothing behind them, money-making shit. If they decided to shut down the economy, what's the first thing that they can control? Your electric-powered vehicle. It's a fucking computer. What
Yeah.
if they turn the electricity off tomorrow and there's a shutdown in the grid? And I know there's been a lot of people that have spoken about this, and there's a conspiracy theory around that too. I'm not like super conspiracy theory driven, but I think some people may be. But it's a method of control at the end of the day. I'd rather have a Land Cruiser. I wish you could buy one. I love Land Cruisers, but they don't even sell them in North America.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're talking about that movie, Leave the World Behind, right? That one?
Yeah, Leave
Yeah.
the World Behind. That one where
Yeah.
like the ship crashes, the planes are crashing.
Yeah, that's
everything's
great. Yeah.
The Teslas are driving themselves. Like,
Yeah.
look, if they want to do something, they really can, right? And we already saw the level of control that is there during COVID, and
Yeah.
we like puppets took fucking vaccines. Even if we didn't want to, like I think 80-90% of the world got vaccinated. That's just the
Yeah.
reality. Boosters, all this bullshit, like, and people are they still believe in it. Even after all of this has come out, like everything's been
Yeah.
debunked. And,
It's like a political
just the
agenda.
fake news, I think the news media has changed so much that people don't trust the news. Who goes to CNN for their news? CNN is a fucking joke. Who goes to Fox? Who goes anywhere? Right? Like, go find your own news source and figure it out. Like what they did with Joe Rogan, they like discolored his face and they're like, he's taking horse dewormer. Come on. And then,
Man.
you know what's funny? I had someone come to me, and this goes on like two parts, is I had someone come to me and I was talking about Joe Rogan, and they're like, Joe Rogan's a fucking idiot. Like, excuse me. I just had to stop them. This is someone part of the family, you know, the extended
Yeah.
family. Joe Rogan's a fucking. We're at a cottage up north, and I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, have you ever listened to one of his podcasts? No. And I'm like, how can you make the observation that he's an idiot? I'm like, he's an intellect. He's very smart at what he's speaking about. Like, have you ever watched? Oh, he said he told people to take horse dewormer, repeating everything CNN put out, and I'm just like, you guys need to learn to do some fucking research on yourselves. That takes me to another point. I was watching Chappelle. Chappelle's the GOAT, by the way, comedy GOAT. But I was watching Chappelle, and same kind of idea. And I'm about to tune in to one of his. It was the closer a couple of years ago. I was up north as well.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to someone, part of the family, extended family. He's like, oh, I can't stand that guy. That guy's a bigot, this, that. I'm like, have you ever seen one of his specials? No. How can you make an opinion on someone? And I think this is where we're at with this world is there's so much misinformation and there's so much bullshit being fed to us by media outlets, by news organizations that is untrue. I think people need to do the research themselves, figure out what is right, what is wrong, what you believe, what you don't believe, but actually do the research. Because if you watch The Closer or one of his specials, he's not, like, he was talking about his friend that was trans during the actual thing. And they all want to cancel him because he's joking about the trans community or the LGBTQ community. But in all honesty, if you watched it, that girl's family didn't have a problem with the special, and he still sees their family. And he's talking about a friend who committed suicide because of what that community did to her, not because of what he's saying. So I think there's a lot that's out there with a lot of people with their preconceived notions. And I think people need to get out of the world or the box that they live in and look outside, because it's very different than what we are all being fed. And I say we are all, and I don't make, like, I will go down the rabbit hole to find out something. I think there's a ton of misinformation that the government or the news outlets, but that's the way the news outlets have always been. It's just worse today, and we're seeing more of it, I guess, now that we're exposed to more social media and we're exposed to more stuff that is just generally out there. We have the ability to do more research, but we're like creating the dumbest generation that has access to the most information ever, right? We're in the world of fucking ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, like you name it, we have access to it.
Yeah.
You don't even Google
They're
stuff.
robots now.
Dude, I'm like AI. We're building a CRM with AI in it, right? Like, how do we pre-qualify leads? How do we pre-qualify the process? So we're only talking to people that are serious, that are actually ready to go now. How is it that we build that out? But that's one thing, right? But even if you ask ChatGPT certain questions, it would actually sway you one way or another at times, right? Even during like the Trump and the Biden era. And there's people that would have still voted for Biden. And I'm not saying Trump's all great by any means. I don't agree with some stuff Trump's doing, but it's part of the game. Do you agree with, I didn't agree with most of the stuff Biden was doing. So it's like, where do you end up, right? Like nobody's gonna be 100%, but you've gotta be open to change, and you've gotta be open to figuring out what makes the most sense. Whether it's not just political, but just be open. Go do your research on stuff. Stop just thinking like I'm just Democratic and I've been a Democrat all my life, or I'm just a Republican, I've been a Republican all my life. Guys, there's good in both sides. There's bad in both sides. There's things like we just need to learn to come together as human beings, regardless of race, culture, religion, any of that shit. Like, I think it all is secondary. We are all human beings first. We all fucking bleed red. That's it. Our blood is red. Like, that's what I believe.
All right.
Sorry, tangent. Another one, Steven. I'm like, you're like,
Mr.
holy
Tangent
shit,
Man.
you're getting more than you paid me for.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. What age would you go back to and live at if you could go back and live? What age would you live at?
I think knowing what I know now, and in my 20s easily, I think I could have made better financial decisions. I could have bought my first house when I was like 22, 23. I could have probably invested. Bitcoin I never came across, right? Like I didn't really understand. I wasn't in that world. Everyone will say go back to buying Bitcoin. Sure, obviously, if you have a time machine, you'll go back and buy some Bitcoin. But for the most part, I think I should have started investing in real estate at a much earlier age. I didn't buy my first property till I was 29, 30, and I'm 38 now. So I could have done it at 22. I was making very good money coming out of school. I was making good money even while in school. I used to work full time and go to school full time. So I went to university full time while I worked full time. I made like 45 grand the year that I was in school, last year that I was in school, and then turned to like 60 something, 80 something. And it's all like, once again, it all grew over time, but also I'm thankful for the experiences that I had, because it was never, like I never left a job for $1 more. I didn't do that. I stayed like at the first place for 8 years. And trust me, I was recruited multiple times. I stayed there from 15 to 23, then 23 to 26. And then they were very strategic jumps that were made, but it definitely helped me become the person I am today. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. Because the knowledge that I have today and the leadership experience that I got from having run large-scale corporations to managing hundreds of people, essentially senior level managers, I don't think most people get that. And I've had the opportunity to have a lot of fantastic mentors. And I think that's such a, like, I'm so thankful for that, because I'm thankful for the criticism, the kick in the ass, all the stuff that I needed through the years. And I learned to take feedback. And sometimes you take it and you're like, here's what to do. Sometimes you look at it and here's what not to do. And sometimes you look at it and you're like, not really the person I should be taking feedback from, but it's okay, you listen. But if you action what is necessary, I think you will truly grow. And if you trust someone to provide you the right feedback, which I did, I trusted a few people, a few mentors in my life, and every place that I've gone to, I've had some fantastic fantastic people that I've worked with. So I'm just thankful for the experiences. But going back 20s, go buy, pick up more stock, more this, more that, manage your money better. Don't fucking go out Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. Don't dump money into clubs. Don't dump money into bottled service. This was the life. I quit drinking it's been over a decade now.
Wow.
I haven't drank since probably about 27, 28, I want to say. Right around there. It's over a decade, yeah. One day woke up, cold turkey quit. But the amount of fucking money you spend on alcohol and dumb shit, on like designer clothes, on building your, like, what difference does it make? You're wearing a fucking Apple Watch, it's great.
Yeah.
But I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to see a brand. It doesn't need to say, I genuinely don't care. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, it doesn't matter. But that's the way I look at life in general.
Do you got a favorite field trip that you took as a kid?
Did I? Sorry? I didn't catch the question.
A field trip as a kid.
What field trip would I take, or do I remember a field trip I took?
Do you remember one that sticks out?
I remember one. Oh man, this is a bad one that I remember. So, I was born in Pakistan. I lived there till I was 10. I was like 6 years old. I was taken by one of my uncles, like not close enough that they're like a real uncle, and we go to this place called like Joyland, and there's all these arcades, games, lots of fun, do all that. We're leaving. I'm a child, right? Like, I'm a kid. I had to pee. And when you're a kid and you have to pee, you have to pee. He's like, no, hold it. So got in the car, I peed in my pants. When I got out of the car, I was beaten, man. I was beaten with a fucking stick. I've been beaten so much in my fucking life, between my parents and uncles and like family. Like, I've gotten my ass handed to me. But I wouldn't change it for the world. That's a field trip I'll always remember. Maybe not for the good, but for getting my ass. And it was with a fucking stick, like across the back and the ass, like just fucking got my ass beat. But that's how it was, man. Tough love. Kids nowadays, they think you say something to them, they got a problem. Yeah. And if you're like, look, man, I still reprimand my children. Do I beat them? No. But if, like, my son smacked me across the face one day, I smacked him right back. I'm like, he looked at me, he's like, fucking smack me? Like, what are you doing? But I think there needs to be discipline. I believe in that for children. Yeah. And I think people that do their fucking helicopter parenting and this new generation that thinks, oh no, don't say anything, you're gonna ruin their personality. That's like, you're ruining the child. The child needs to be disciplined. I think there's a balance in, your child should love you, your child should respect you, and your child should fear you. And they shouldn't fear you as a person, but they should fear the consequences if they do something bad. And I mean, like, look, everyone makes mistakes, we all mess up, but at the same time, there needs to be consequences if something happens. If there's no consequence, then by you doing nothing, you have condoned the behavior, right?
Yeah.
If the child draws on the wall, and I'll give you a perfect example, there isn't a fucking mark on my wall anywhere in the house, and I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. My daughter knew if she, and it happened in the beginning once, like she drew a little bit on the wall, she got a smack on the hand. You can get a smack across the face, anything, or on the butt, or like something like that, smack on the hand. Like, you don't do that. They need to understand that. You're like, no, that's not right. You can't do that. You can't do that with kids. Like, they don't understand that. Like, and they think everything's okay because you're being nice to them. They don't get it. They need to understand that there are consequences, and they have to fear the consequences, not fear the person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thankful for the relationship I have with my kids. We have fun, we play, we do stupid shit. Like, I'll like act like a fucking dog. Like, whatever it is we have to do, we'll have fun. There's the fun part, but there's also the discipline part. There's also understanding that at the end of the day, you're not their friend, you're their parent. Yeah. Parenting is like, your number one job is be a father. Do you have kids?
No. Just
None that you know of, Steven?
No, not that I know of, yeah.
Any out there in Mexico, Cuba, like, No, I'm just kidding.
There's one in Canada running around.
You're like, that kid looks like Steven. Like, I wonder. No, but I think when you have kids, a lot of people blur the lines of, friend, like there's a time we'll have fun, we'll be stupid, we'll be silly. I do more silly stuff than I do more serious stuff with my kids, but that's fun. That's what I want it to be. But they get it. They get not to push the boundaries on certain things, but I want them to be them. Like I'm trying to make my little guy, I'm like, I want him to be a fucking man's man. Like that's the way I'm teaching my kid. But the guys that want to teach their kids differently, to each their own. Like I don't, I think with that, I can go into a rabbit hole, but I think the schooling system's fucked. I think there's so much that's messed up between both the US and Canada and around the world. Like our schooling system hasn't changed in decades, in like 50 years, 60 years. We're putting kids through the same shit. We're putting kids, like, we're building robots, right? Like, as you said, we're building workers. We're not building entrepreneurs. We're not building you to think for yourself. We're teaching you ideologies at like 3 and 4 years old that you should never be learning at that age. And those are things that I firmly believe in. Like, there's a place for everything. It's about, once again, respect everyone. I don't think we need to disrespect anyone. I think everyone has the right to exist and the right to be who they want to be. But at the same time, don't shove ideologies down my kids' throats. And I think that is one big thing that needs to change. At 3, 4, 5, like, dude, they don't know the difference between a boy and a girl. And you're asking them what their fucking pronouns are? Hate to say it, but like, whether you agree, disagree, you don't have to say it, I don't care. To me, it doesn't matter. But I think there is, like, when you have children and they're being taught dumb shit like this, like you can choose, no, you're a boy or you're a girl. And I think like as you become an adult, if there's something that you need to do and you don't feel a certain way, to each their own as an adult. But don't fuck with my kids. I think I speak on behalf of 98% of people, if not 99% of people. And if you agree, drop a comment. Like, if you disagree, drop a comment why you disagree. And once again, not disrespectful. I think everyone deserves a fair chance in life to be whoever they want to be, but why are you trying to teach shit to my children? Like, shit that will impact the rest of their lives at the end of the day. But they should learn to respect everyone. I believe in that. No gender ideologies, though. I think that needs to go out of schools. I think they need to focus more on education, on financial education, literacy. I don't think that exists at all. Kids don't know anything walking out of school about finances. They don't know how to buy a house. They don't know how to get a credit card. They think it's free money. They don't understand responsibility, like real responsibility. And I think, once again, we're building robots in school. I think all that, like, if I could, I would have 5 more businesses. I'd build a fucking school. Like, if I could, I'd build a new education system. Because I think kids need to understand how to build something for themselves, how to think outside the box. Because I feel like they're at the confines of these systemic things that have been around for decades, and they're just not able to grow outside of that. And that frustrates me, so I want my kids to try their hand at different things. Like, I'm sending my kid private. My 6-year-old goes private. It's not good. Like, we pay fucking 50% taxes here, 45%. Like, I get killed. Get absolutely killed. But I don't feel comfortable sending my child to public school. Like, that's sad. We were looking at, and it's funny we bring this up, we were looking at summer camps, and summer camps that are in public schools have, once again, same bullshit that's happening in summer camps. So I'm not even, and summer camp in the public school that we're looking at was $185 a week, and the other one is $400 a week. We are sending her to the $400 a week because it doesn't feel good to spend double the money, but I'd rather have my kid where I believe the teachings are right, the ideology is right, and like they believe what we believe. That's what I believe. Cool. I can't believe I went down that rabbit hole. I know most people would never even fucking say it on camera, but fuck it. Be you, be who you are. This is what I believe. If you disagree, I still respect you. It's all good. I have loads of friends that are from different communities. I don't care. I love them. I love you guys. Like, I don't give a shit. But I feel like there's certain things that shouldn't be taught to children. I think there's a time and place for everything in life. That's it. All right. Gotcha. Done with that tangent. Are there going to be more?
Oh, here's one. Have you seen a movie you recently watched that you liked that was good or bad?
That sorry, I
The
didn't. Have I
the
seen a movie
movie.
I
Um,
recently
eh,
watched
yeah, that was good or bad.
that was good or bad? I guess, as I said, I don't watch a lot of movies. So it was that one that you said, whatever the world is
Oh, Leave the
ending.
World Behind. That one.
Yeah, leave the world behind. That was
Yeah.
I'm indifferent about it. I'm like, movies, guys.
I saw
Here's the
Gladiator too.
thing.
That was pretty good.
If you, which one?
I saw Gladiator too.
No, I haven't seen that. I don't even know what
Yeah.
movie that is. I know Captain America came out, and I'm a big Marvel fan. I haven't
Okay.
even seen that. Yeah, but once again, I don't have time for movies. I don't have time for TV. Don't have
Yeah.
time for it. So I'd say if you're watching a lot of movies and you can think of like five, you're wasting your fucking time. Like, this is what I would say. If you're watching this or listening to this, and you watch a ton of movies and you're like, oh, I really like this one, this one, this one, this
Yeah.
one, that goes to show me how many hours you have to waste that you spent down the fucking drain, not focused on your personal development, building a business, doing something. Even if you're in a 9 to 5 job, I don't care. You can spend 6 to 9. You have 3 hours a day to figure it out. You have 2 hours a day. Spend an hour a day. Figure something out. Self-development, I believe, is really, really, really important. Focus on that. Read a book. Listen to a podcast. Listen, like Audible. I don't even read books. I listen to books. That's more of my thing. Listen
Yeah.
to a couple right now, but like Buying Back Your Time with Dan Martell from an entrepreneurship side. Insane. Like one
Yeah.
of, like love it, love it. The Compound Effect. Such a great book. I've gone through that. But there's so many, right? Like there's so many. The Chris Voss one, the negotiation one. Like that one, I see
Yeah.
eye to eye quite a bit. I think there's Never Split the Difference. That's the name of that. But like, guys, focus on building a better you. Those movies aren't going to make a difference in your fucking life. You watch 10 of them, 20 of them, that's 60 hours down the drain, or 40, whatever you want to look at. You could have spent
Yeah.
40 hours in being a better version of yourself, or building a business, or learning a trade, or learning a skill, learning a service-based business. Go down the AI rabbit hole. There's so much stuff you can do, so much money you can make, and if money is the issue, or self-doubt is the issue, or mindset is the issue, why aren't you spending time on those things? That is where I'm at with the whole movie podcast. Like, go spend time in something that will truly make a difference in your life.
Okay. Gotcha. Are you an Apple or Android guy? Huh.
Apple, everything. I think I turned something on, but literally Apple, everything. Oh, I do not disturb still.
Yeah.
MacBook, iPhone. I've been a MacBook user since like the white MacBooks, 2000s.
Oh wow.
2000s. And the way I got my first MacBook was I won it for being the top salesperson. I used to sell shoes. I worked for the Alta Group from 2002 to 2010, started off as a stock person, and then would finish my work as a stock person early so I could get time on the sales floor. I begged to go on the sales floor, they wouldn't let me. And then I was like, how about you give me, well, in the 4 hours you give me, I'll finish my stock work in 2 hours, let me go on the floor in 2 hours. And I just became the best runner. And I was 15 at the time, right, when I started.
Yeah.
So really built my way up from selling shoes to selling stuff to leadership to that. But that's where I was the top salesperson as a full-timer, part-timer, and then became top assistant manager, top manager in the company. And essentially there's this thing called Club Elite. I won that 5 years in a row. And that was picking 90 people out of 1,500 stores. And it was like 15 part-timers, 25 full-timers, 25 assistant managers, and 25 managers. And I won it at every level. So it's like, guys, once again, hard work breeds a habit. I learned to work hard, but I had so many great mentors. But hustle is key, right? And through the hustle, I won that MacBook that got me into more MacBooks. And now I'm looking at I've bought a couple iPads over the years. Every time I buy one, I give it away. But I'm actually going to buy one probably soon, one of the newer iPads, Air probably. But I need it as a notebook. And I find I'm writing a lot of notes and I have 2 notebooks. And I need it to be in the ecosystem and accessible. So I think that's what I'm going to buy. And also, as part of the group coaching, that we're going to be doing for agents to take their business to the next level. There'll be a lot of like modules that we'll build on there on the iPad Live, so that way they can see it as they watch on Zoom.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. You want to share a tip of the week, business tip, success tip?
Shared so many. What are you doing with your time? Audit everything that it is that you do every minute of the day. How are you going to be more intentional with your work? Most people that are either entrepreneurs or salespeople or in the real estate business are spending time on non-money making activities. You'll start here, you'll kind of go here, and although you have to get this done, you're kind of going around in circles, and then you go around in circles again, and you scroll Facebook, you scroll Instagram, and then you finish your day. I think that is holding people back. I feel like there's a big part of you that needs to figure out what is truly important and why aren't you doing it. Meaning, like in every business, if you're, especially for an entrepreneur, especially in sales, if outreach is important, and that's how we get clients, how much outreach have you done? How many calls did you make? And I don't care about the calls, you can make 100 calls. If nobody answers, you've had 0 conversations. How many conversations did you have? And how many of those conversations result in appointments? And you track what you want to grow. So if you're not tracking it, it's not going to grow. And if you are tracking it and you realize and you look back at yourself, and I can ask you this, Steven, you're full-time in real estate, right? All right. Honestly speaking, this week, how many conversations have you had with people about real estate, like with potential real estate conversations?
Between 5 and 10.
Between 5 and 10. Let me ask you this: how many houses do you want to sell this year?
Well, between 12 to 20.
12 and 20. Give me a number. Well, why not 20? Why not 25?
Yeah.
Why not 30?
What about you? How many you want to sell?
I think we're thinking too small. I think we have limited beliefs about ourselves. I'll tell you this. If you only have 10 conversations this week, we've got today's almost none, right? Halfway through the day, you're going to do the podcast.
Well, I'm in the morning still for me. So time clock, the difference,
Oh, yeah. So, sorry. But let's say you had 10 a week, right? Hypothetically speaking. It will take you 10 weeks to get to 100 conversations. In 52 weeks, you've gotten to 520 conversations. The average agent converts 1 out of 100. Average. If you're really good, it's 1 out of 50. Really, really good. Like the best of the best can convert 1 out of 50. Now, you're on track to do 5 deals this year, Steven. What needs to change? Why aren't you doing more outreach? And I think that's the way we need to look at our business and self-audit to say, hey, why am I not doing it? And that's the point in having an accountability partner or a coach to be like, okay, what am I spending my time on? I essentially run 4 companies, right? Like 3, but I've got the conglomerate in the US as an LLC. So we're registered in the US as well for our US properties that we manage. And when we manage them, we make top dollar for a client. So we charge a percentage of revenue. So we have outreach weekly on the property management side. We have outreach weekly on the real estate side, and we have outreach weekly on the academy side. It's essentially 3 separate businesses, and I'm growing all 3 of them. And my goals are, like, I can share exactly my goal. Top line revenue is 5 million plus on the property management side. GCI goal is 1 million plus. And then the other goal, which is the academy, is have 100 people in the academy that we're helping active within the group coaching side alone. And there's a lot that we're developing on each side, but each side is going to take an X amount of work, right? Like in the property management side, we're genuinely, I don't even kid about it, we're the best at what we do. There's nobody that does what we do. Comes to property in Miami, based on comps, we were projecting 115,000 to 120 a year. Those are the top 3 comps. They were 115 or 120. Top 3 in Miami that we looked at that were exactly like the house that we were setting up. We set it up, started running it in 2 months. It's 2 months today. We launched it January 26th. So it's March 27th. 2 months today. We have $75,000 US in bookings. in 2 months. We're going to end up doing 180 on that. We're going to increase by 50% on what we were projecting. We have a property in Deerhurst here that we're doing $250,000 a year on. We have a property here that we just set up our best design yet. This one's incredible. I called the client yesterday, and I wish I had the call recorded. I wish, and I'm getting something to record what it is that I do throughout the day. But I sent the client the actual Airbnb listing, and I sent it to him. I'm like, hey, take a look at this. I didn't even say anything. I just sent him the text, and I called him, and he didn't answer. He called me back. He's like, swear to God, this was it. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, is that my fucking house? And I felt so proud and so happy of what it is that we had done to the property, in the dollars that we spent and what we did and how we designed it. I'd love to share it with you somewhere, but it was such a cool setup, and we got a builder spec home, and we turned it into something absolutely epic, and it's our best design yet. And once again, we'll find the property for clients, and we're working with clients to find properties in the US right now as well. So we do cross-border shopping, so we'll help clients find properties in the US that yield 100 grand, 150 grand, 200 grand. And that's where a lot of our clients come from, is a savvy investor. And these are usually guys that own multiple homes. They're not the first-time home buyers. That's not our client. Our client is really the guy that's done it multiple times or wants to really diversify his portfolio. We have clients who own on Fisher Island. We have clients who own $4 million condos. We have clients that, it just depends. But we are very open and honest with what we do. We don't try to drive home oh, we'll do this. I actually just pull up the numbers and physically show them, here's how much every property is making in the area. Let's pull up every property that looks like yours. What are the top 2 or 3 making? And we will hit that or we will surpass it. And historically speaking, every market we've ever gone in, we have just surpassed it. So we have a proven track record of doing this. So we're currently exploring, a few people are exploring us actually for Dubai. They want us to run a few of their rentals for them. So we've got 3 to 5 properties in the works there, likely by the end of this year because they'll be closing on them. But we're running $3 million penthouse condos, and we're running $3, $4, $5 million luxury homes. And some of these can yield $2, $3, $4, $500,000 a year, right? We can find a $900,000 home to yield $150,000 a year. But it's kind of what we do is find, design, scale, and manage. So it's stress-free for the client. It's kind of an all-in-one service that they end up getting. And most of our business, funny enough, comes from agents. But we also understand, to put that side aside, is a lot of these clients end up coming from realtors where they're like, hey, can we partner? We know someone, because it's a way for you to keep a client within your ecosystem. And we will support you. We'll never try to go sell to one of our clients that was referred by another agent. That's not how we do business. I think integrity is so important in our business, in my business especially. I believe integrity is the most important thing. And being true to who you are and not ever cheating anyone. We're factual. We're not bullshitting anything. We just tell you as it is, and if it makes sense or doesn't make sense. We said no to 7 properties in the last 2 months. I had offers in Daytona Beach, in Florida, and I just said either it didn't make sense for the client, and we said this isn't ideal for you. We'll make money. Don't get me wrong. We'll charge our X percentage. We'll make money. But if it's not the right property for our portfolio, or if it's not the right property for their portfolio, I'd rather recommend you sell the property and buy something else that makes more sense. Mm-hmm. It's not about just selling something. It's about finding the right home for the client. And also look at the laws when you're doing short-term rentals. Most agents will never tell you this. Most agents will never guide you the right way. They just want to get commission, and they've got commission bread. So really work with someone that has your best interest at heart, period. Who knows, maybe we'll come to California when you're our first client for there.
Nice. Well, I'm at Walnut Creek, Pleasanton area, East Bay,
That's
San Francisco, the whole area. Yeah. So we get something going. All right. Who do you want to sit down and eat with, dead or alive? If you could pick somebody, who'd it be?
Just the family, man. Honestly, my kids.
There's no celebrity out there you want to sit down with and eat?
My sister, my brothers.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Honestly, of course, look, I think the most important thing is family in the world. That's who I eat with every day. And I love having dinner with my kids, just enjoying time with them. I don't enjoy feeding them. That's not fun. That part sucks. But other than that, family, man, I think it's the one thing you got to cherish in your life and be thankful for what you have. Got a beautiful, supportive, intelligent, intellectual wife, like who's just amazing, and she's hot as fuck. So it really helps. Right? Like all of the above, the full package. I lucked out, man. I lucked out. Beautiful kids. And look, like entrepreneurship realm, like that. I think we could look at that as well. If it was just entrepreneurs and you wanted growth, I'd love to sit at a table with Dan Martell, Gary Vaynerchuk, Alex Hormozi, Leila Hormozi. Let's bring them both in. And I'm like mega entrepreneurs. I'd probably throw in Elon Musk, although he'd be awkward. It'd be awkward to throw in Elon Musk. We don't need Trump in there. But who else? Who else? One more person. How would we round this up?
You got quite a few right there.
Huh?
Oh, I was thinking of like Abe Lincoln, JFK, Walt Disney.
Walt Disney would be cool, but I'm thinking in the realm of today. But historically.
Oh, today. I mean, probably got NVIDIA, him. You know,
who?
NVIDIA guy, the guy who owns NVIDIA.
Yeah, the guy who owns NVIDIA. He's got some cool ideas, man. He's like, good leaders are hard to find. Great
probably the guy at Amazon,
Bezos.
Yeah.
I think Bezos would be a very interesting person to have dinner with. Yeah. I think we'd put Bezos in there, sure. We got 2 billionaires and 3 multiple hundred millionaires. So 3, 4. So we got 6 people, round table, done.
Okay. What about this one? What if you're stuck in an elevator? Who would you want to be stuck in an elevator with?
My wife?
Yeah.
You could pick any of the entrepreneurs off that table and throw them there, and just be able to. And I think when you start looking at some of these people, not that you need to idolize anyone. It's not about that. It's about learning from people that have done what it is that you want to do. Learning from people that have done the repetitions, done the work, and that allow you to think bigger. So that any of those people would be cool to just be able to 5 minutes, 30 minutes. It's all a wealth of knowledge. Like I was lucky enough where I'm part of a couple of coaching programs, and I was lucky enough I went to the Tom Ferry conference last week, and as part of the conference I spoke to Tom. I remembered him, he remembered me, obviously. He remembered me, surprisingly, obviously. I remembered him, obviously. And I asked him for 5 minutes of his time. I'm part of Tom Ferry coaching, and I'm also part of Dan Martell coaching. So I asked him for, instead of just taking a fucking photo, I don't care. Like, I don't want a photo with Tom Ferry. To me, it doesn't matter. I don't want a photo with him. I'm not idolizing anyone. I don't give a shit. I don't need to put it on Instagram to show that I know famous people or cool people or the top coaches. It doesn't matter. It was about, how do you utilize this opportunity to gain something of value? So I asked him for a couple minutes, and we had this bet. We're like, hey, if we hit XYZ, you're going to come on my podcast. That kind of idea from 2 years ago, where, well, this is the year it's happening. It's like all laid out, and I told him that. And then I got to share my businesses with him and exactly how they're structured and what I'm doing and what I'm working on. He put both hands on his shoulder, and I had this really cool 5-minute discussion with him, which allowed me to gain so much more mental clarity. As I said, I'm very intentional with what it is that I want to do, but it allowed me to think bigger from someone that has 4 or 5 businesses, that is doing it at such a high level. And the advice that he gave me, I'll share, and maybe this will help someone. Sometimes we're doing too much and we need to stop everything and just do the one thing. And I think that goes back to what a lot of Dan Martell says and a lot of what these mega entrepreneurs say, to fuck everything else, focus on one thing, put 100% into it. But when you're building multiple businesses, I can't actually stop. I just can't. I'm not at the point that I physically can. It's about hiring the right people in the right places to then go build each business. Give up a piece of your equity go find someone, and this is legitimately the exact words Tom said to me, is go give up 30%, 20, whatever you have to give up. Give up the equity, allow them to manage it. You still own it, let them grow it free. Let them take the lead. And you now focus on, and the thing that I love the most is strategy, growth, and branding. Like, right? Like that's 100% what I want to be focused on. Well, why am I here doing this when I could be doing this and have the right people? But it takes time to find the people, source people, and be able to really build it into like a machine, right? Like the goal isn't to build one company, it's building an empire. And that entire empire essentially is the art of greatness. Like that's what we're working on building. So everything's under one name, one roof. I'm the brand, the strategy behind it. And this is multi-million-dollar advice from a guy that has hundreds of millions of dollars in wealth and is an early investor in some of the biggest companies. And he owns 4 or 5 himself. He doesn't run any of them. He's just a brand. But it's also understanding how do you remove yourself from day-to-day operations, buy your time back to then help grow the company, right? Like, and I think we're so stuck in operating the company that we'll never truly be able to grow. So I think there's a lot of wealth of information that's out there. It's just what you utilize and how you utilize it. That 5-minute one-on-one was better than any sort of, the 8 hours that I sat. With more value than, even the whole year of coaching for that one conversation. That's all I needed. But it provided you with clarity.
Cool.
I don't even remember what the question was. I don't know how we got there, but yeah.
Stuck in an elevator.
Elevator,
right?
Oh yeah. Elevator stuff. Yeah.
Very good. How about this? You got a favorite sports team and player?
I love the Raptors. They suck, but still diehard Raptors fan.
Yeah.
I think favorite player, there's great players in every sport. I really like Steph Curry. Steph Curry's like one of my favorite players in the NBA. He's fantastic and what he's done for the game. I think Ronaldo, Messi from a soccer standpoint. Not a big tennis guy, so I don't really have a favorite there.
Yeah.
Once again, no time for sports, man. Not a big hockey guy either. Don't watch a lot of hockey. But essentially, ball is life, right? Like basketball. We went down the rabbit hole on that. I really like soccer. I'll follow it every now and then. But when I was younger, I used to.
Who's your soccer team?
I don't actually have one.
No.
I don't.
Okay.
Look, Real Madrid is great. Barcelona was good. I don't even know who's good right now. I don't know who's playing well.
Madrid's good right now. I'm a Man City guy. Madrid's good. Liverpool's good. Arsenal, they're really good right now.
Did Liverpool fire Jurgen Klopp or no?
I think he's still around. Or no, maybe they got rid of him. Yeah, I can't remember.
I think okay. Yeah, Liverpool was great, and then they fell off a little bit for a year.
Yeah, they're good now. So.
But when I used to play video games, it was easier because I just you play the games, you know all the players, you follow the scores, what was happening, and now there's no time for video games either, man. There's no time for anything. You got kids, a business, life, and you're trying to build something greater. There's no real time for anything else.
Yeah. What about did you watch wrestling? Did you have a favorite wrestler growing up?
Favorite wrestler? So I was in the Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock era.
Yeah.
I was at the tail end of Ultimate Warrior era a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember the Ric Flairs. But Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. I would say The Rock by far was my absolute favorite. Loved The Rock. And I loved wrestling.
Yeah.
I haven't watched wrestling in decades. I don't remember the last time I watched anything.
Well, The Rock's back wrestling again. He's back.
Yeah.
He's the last boss.
He's getting paid a lot of money because he commands a lot.
Yeah, he does.
He's turned into a fantastic actor. He has. He's done very well for himself.
Yeah.
I really liked that show Ballers. Ballers was good. I watched that in the early days, maybe like 2 seasons, maybe that. But
Yeah.
that was a fun show to watch.
Okay. What advice would you give yourself at 12 years old?
At 12 years old,
Yeah.
just have fun, live your life. Go invest in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a fraud. Real estate, real estate, real
Yeah.
estate. What are you doing? Buy some rental properties.
No, it's crazy. We don't
Real
hear about it till later in life about it. But yeah.
till way later. And also it depends because my parents were immigrants, right? Like we moved,
Yeah.
well, I'm an immigrant as well, but we moved at 10, essentially. Like I moved when I was 10. So my parents didn't have that experience and they weren't exposed to what it was here. Back at home, the idea is you buy a house for cash. There are no mortgages. There's nothing. No such thing. And you're not buying rental property. That doesn't
Yeah.
like, so mortgage isn't a thought. The idea is you buy a house and you pay it off, which I think like when you look at it now, it's like the stupidest thing you could do is just pay cash for a house. Now look, if you have an obscene amount of money, that's one thing, but for the most part, I think mortgage is good debt to have, especially at low rates. Why not? I can
Yeah.
go pick up 4 more properties that are cash flowing, 5 more, 6 more. Like, how do I think bigger once again? But I don't regret that at all because I know it now. But at the same time, like, it's not my parents' fault. They were never taught that. And we
Yeah.
didn't learn it till later. And nobody teaches you this stuff, right? Like, that's the problem. They teach you all the dumb shit to do in school, but they don't teach you any of the stuff that will actually make you money. But they don't want you to make money, right? Like, government run, the government doesn't want you to make any money. Every type of law that these guys introduce is, here's how we take more capital gains from you. Here's how we screw you on your Airbnb income. Here's how we screw you here. Like, we just want to screw you in every which way possible. The government is not for the people. The people are for the government. That's what, unfortunately. And that holds true everywhere, right? Like, it's not a fucking democratic place. None of these places. I don't believe it, at least.
How long you been a homeowner for, and what do you like about the city you live in?
Since 2930. I live on the border of Brampton Vaughan. I'm not proud to say it. I do live on the Brampton side.
Yeah.
It's not a proud moment for me, but we've been there a while. We've been there since actually not in this specific house, but we've lived in Brampton since I moved. And we've actually never lived outside of Brampton. But I've always worked outside of Brampton, whether it was Mississauga, Vaughan, downtown Toronto.
How far are you from Toronto?
Downtown, like 40 minutes.
Okay, not bad.
Probably 30, 35 if there's no traffic, but there's no such thing as no traffic. I live about, 45, 50 minutes. 40 if I'm lucky. It could take an hour and a half. It could take 2 hours. Toronto's been rated the worst city in North America.
Oh, wow.
On multiple occasions to drive in. It's like a top 5 worst
Something
city.
new.
It's LA traffic, Toronto traffic.
Yeah.
It's shit. I don't make it downtown that often. Every now and then I'll be there, but I'm not there that much. My clients are everywhere across the board, north, east, west, south, doesn't matter. Like, we'll go anywhere, but that's just the general investor or homeowner, right? Like, these guys own multiple properties for the most part.
Okay. If you weren't your current job, what would you be doing for work right now?
I'd be helping people, figuring out a way to help people, some sort of leadership, some sort of coaching. I've always enjoyed helping people grow and develop, even at an early age. I've always tried to take people under my wing to figure out where it is that I can help take them, and really helping people realize what kind of potential they truly have. And I think a lot of people shortchange themselves. I'll give you an example. I interviewed this guy. I was at Saks. I was the director of operations for Saks. And I interviewed him. It was a senior management role. And it was a very important role because it was a very difficult role to fulfill. And I'd interviewed a bunch of people, and there were a few like really, really qualified people. This kid walks in, he's young, early 20s. He's like 20, 21, something like that. And I started interviewing him, and he says things like, and you know. And he just kept, like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just the entire, he said it like 60 or 70 times. I started counting at that point in time.
Wow.
At the end of the interview, I said to him, you said and you know, and I don't fucking know what you mean by you know. Like, you need to eliminate that out of your vocabulary. But I give him just a tough, hard love. And I said to him straight, I really think you've got a great attitude. I think you can go far. You've got to fix a couple things. You're very raw around the edges. Was he the best candidate for the job based on resume? No. Was he the best candidate for the job based on experience? No. Were there better candidates than him for the job? Yes, if you looked on paper. Did he have the right attitude? Yes. Did he have the drive that I wanted someone to have? Yes. And it was the most important role under me of all the managers that I had. And I ended up hiring this guy because of attitude and drive. And the willingness to, like, just fucking raw emotion. And there's this popular saying, I'd rather hold back a raging bull than push a fucking donkey.
Yeah.
And I don't want to push donkeys, I don't want to hire donkeys either. So this guy's his name is Ricky Jeffreda. So the like, and you know, he kept saying it. I told him not to. I end up hiring him. Although the interview, based on just speech alone, didn't go well, he then, before I left, we were able to promote him to director of operations.
Wow.
And then just most recently, I just found this out, and I've got to give the shout out, like, right? Like, I'm just so happy. And it's not, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him because he's grown so much. He's now the VP general manager of Sherway Gardens, Saks Fifth Avenue.
Wow.
The same place as where I hired him as a merchandising manager who controlled all logistics in the entire span of 100,000 square feet, essentially, right? But he grew, man. He grew. And he took feedback well, criticism well, and it's one of my personal proudest moments. And not because of me, it's because of him, who he is. I just saw the potential, and I was able to help unleash some of that. And he had other mentors other than me that helped him get from the director to the GM role, right? Like, I wasn't his direct report at that point in time.
Yeah.
Someone else was. So I know he was definitely mentored along the way, but he had it in him all along. And I think that's what people need, is someone to help guide them. And whoever that may be, look outside for someone that sees the potential in you. But another question, why aren't you seeing the potential in you?
You asking me? Potential?
I got stories, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Steven Lenz. I got so many stories, man. Like, I spoke for an hour and 45 minutes. This surpasses the longest podcast I've done for myself. We were an hour and 44.
Hey, you got me. How about this? You got a favorite video game or board game?
Favorite board game is chess, and one second.
Okay.
Chess and Monopoly.
Yeah.
I love Monopoly. I'm very good at both.
Yeah.
I'm not like, don't get me wrong, I'm not very good at chess. Is subjective. It's my person. Objectively speaking, I'm better than 99% of players.
Yeah.
But the other 98% of players, but the 98% are closer to me than I am to Magnus Carlsen. That's the way.
Okay.
It's the opposite of the Scalabrini quote. Like, Scalabrini is closer to LeBron than we are to him. I'm closer to the other 98% than I am. And look, if the average person played me that picks up chess, I'd destroy them. I'm an ELO of around 1,500. That would be considered intermediate. But the average person's like 800, 900, 1,000, 1,100, 1,200. I would consistently beat those guys. But like, when you get into advanced at the 2000s, I would consistently lose. But chess is a game of strategy. It requires a lot of studying. For me to get to like 16, 17, 1800, 2000, it's not an easy feat. Can it be done? Sure. It would take like a year, 2 years of actually studying theory, putting it into practice. And I don't know that much theory. I'm more of the strategy side, and I figure it out. But love chess. Magnus Carlsen is the GOAT in chess. Do you follow any of it?
I know of him.
Yeah,
But
he's insane, man. Some of his games, sometimes you look and you're like, how did you even find that move? Like, I remember during COVID, I did pick up watching, there's a popular YouTuber, Levi Rosman.
yeah,
Levi? Yeah, Levi. Look him up. He's really good.
I'll look him up.
There's a bunch of them. Anna Cramling's really good. But Levi,
Yeah.
I started watching him, and then it got me back into chess a bit. I picked up my phone, started playing chess. I had to fucking delete it. I don't even have chess on my phone anymore. I'm like, it's just time sinks, right? I had to take out all the time sinks. But if somebody wanted to play me in chess one day, yeah, we'll play. Do you play at all?
I haven't played in a while, but I used to play as a kid, and a couple of friends had a couple of chess boards that we play, at the house and stuff. But
Yeah, to the average person, I'm great. But like when you start playing against great people, you just like,
Yeah.
it's like the kid that can go play pickup ball and destroy everyone that has played in middle school. But then you go up against the NCAA guys and they will spank the shit out of you. That's kind of where I'm the really good middle school kid that it will destroy everyone on the average side, and that doesn't know a whole lot. But yeah, and then Monopoly, I've loved Monopoly. I've had this thing for, I'm very good at Monopoly. And the negotiation side, the strategy side, it's just one of my favorite games. I have friends that refuse to play Monopoly with me. We have groups of friends.
That's a first.
The thing is, they will not, because and now if I were to play with them, their strategy is, we are not trading anything with Fahad. We are not doing anything with Fahad. Like, I've had those games where it's like, they won't allow anything. They're like, no, we're not doing any trading. They're like, you are banned from trading. So now that's how the games end, which is, they won't allow me to do anything.
Yeah.
But there's been so many where I've like naturally picked up monopolies, all three, and then built houses. I have a very good win percentage in games in general.
Yeah.
Good at games. I'm good at strategy and stuff. So.
So what are your 3 tips in Monopoly?
Monopoly?
Yeah, 3 tips.
Buy everything. A couple tips. When you go buy everything. Trade early if you can to get an advantage.
Okay.
And trade before you, like, if someone has a second property and you have the first, trade for the second, even if you don't have the third, because you're that much closer to it. Do what you need to do, because even if you paid 1.5x for it, and if you have the potential of landing, and if you're able to trade around the time that like you're about to go around and you know you're about to land in a specific area that's before someone else and you have the chance to pick it up, do that. Buy everything, trade early if you can, make deals, but yeah, just try to, it's about the property, not about the money. If you get the right property, you'll print money. But if you don't get the right property, you're screwed, no matter how much money you have.
Yeah.
So I'm like all about, and if someone wants a monopoly, make them go fucking broke. Take everything. Take everything. And then some. If they don't, leave them with any fucking money. If you have one and they've got 2, do not trade it for $500, even if it's worth $150, $200.
Okay.
You go trade it for, take every one of their properties, clean them the fuck out, so they can't build and they have to wait, because they'll only be able to collect double rent for just having the 3 properties. But understanding the rules are really important. I find a lot of people like fudge with the rules. I play by the rule book. I haven't memorized.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why people don't like playing with me. I have the rules memorized, so play by the rules. Free parking is free parking. You don't put $10 in the middle. You don't put up. Free parking is free parking. Proceed to boardwalk is proceed to boardwalk. Like, that's the way it is. There is no extra $200 when you proceed to boardwalk. If you pass go, it's $200 every time. We don't play with $250. Tax is tax. You gotta pay tax every time. But like, I have that board memorized. I know exactly. Wow. I know every card that's in the board game. I know exactly where the 3 spots back are. You can get to Illinois Avenue. That's one. Like, I don't like. I like the railroads. I don't like the utilities. I'll always trade them. I don't give a shit. Make as much money as you want. But if I can pick up 3 or 4 railroads, they will print money. Railroads are great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we gave a Monopoly masterclass.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your drink of choice?
Sorry?
Drink of choice. What are you drinking?
Drink of choice?
Yeah.
I don't drink, so San Pellegrino is my drink of choice. I'm a sparkling water fan. That is definitely the absolute drink of choice.
Yeah. Gotcha. You want to share as a guilty pleasure?
A guilty pleasure. I I like dessert, man. I'm a
Yeah.
like even
Cheesecake
when
or what?
like I've gone on carnivore diets and then I just chow down. At the end of the day, I love this Pakistani thing called batisa.
Yeah.
It's basically the sweet. It's really good. My mom went to Pakistan a couple weeks ago, like a week ago. She came back and she brought me some. So I've been chowing that down the last like 3 days.
Okay.
What am I doing? Yeah,
Oh.
that's hey, like I don't really have anything that I spend time doing. Like, chess could have been one if you asked me 2 years ago. FIFA could have been one if you asked me 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I was a die-hard FIFA fan, and I would play video games. I was really good at it. Been very good at video games and games all my life, so it was just one of those things that I genuinely enjoyed doing. But it's a
All
time
right.
sink. Like I couldn't fathom doing it now.
Yeah. What's your favorite emoji?
Emoji is fire
Yeah.
or I'm gonna bring the pregnant man. Like what the fuck?
There's a pregnant man.
There's a fucking pregnant. I gotta find it. I think there's a pregnant man emoji that is on this. I don't know where I saw it. I've got to bring this up. It's fucking hilarious though. I do think
right.
there is one.
Okay.
All right, let me find it for you. Give me a sec.
All right.
I'm going into emojis, and I'm gonna find it right now. If there's a pregnant, yeah, this is fuck, dude. I got it. There's a why Apple.
Oh.
Why the fuck? Please explain. Why the fuck is there a pregnant man emoji?
I don't know.
And just and men get pregnant. When have you? Not before fucking 2020. Apparently, historically, men have never been able to get pregnant till 2020. The fuck are you guys on? Like, seriously, that's what that.
Yeah.
You didn't know about that, did you?
No. I
It
learned
looks
something
like
a
fucking
couple
Bill
days
Gates.
ago.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. Nominate somebody we see on the show. Who would be a good guy to get on here? Or somebody.
Sorry. Who?
Nominate someone to be on the show. Who'd be a good guest?
Ooh. Clubhouse days.
I did David already.
David Morrell, Daniela Bona would be fun. She's cool. She has she's a great personality.
Yeah.
One of my favorite people in real estate. She's really cool. Holly Meyer Lucas is awesome. She's doing some crazy shit right now. She's doing like
I'm getting Justin on here in a couple of weeks.
Justin's awesome. Like love Justin, man. Love Justin. I talk to Justin every now and then. He's
Yeah.
great. Holly's a beast in and of herself. Like Justin's a beast. Like just killing it in their own right, right? Like run such successful businesses, brokerages. They're great coaches. They're great leaders. There's so many of them that we met out there. But look, you got like 3 right now.
I know. Yeah.
You got a good 3.
I'm gonna do apathy eventually.
App would be fun. App
Yeah.
has stories to tell. Apps
Yeah.
might go longer than ours.
Well, yeah, who knows?
Is this
yeah.
the longest podcast you've had?
This is the longest, man. This girl Heather had on here. We're about an hour and a half, so yeah, we surpassed her. Yeah.
Yeah, we're almost at 2 hours.
Yeah. No.
Insane.
Um.
Got work to
Yeah.
do. Make some balls. Make some money.
What's on your
Yeah.
bucket list?
What's on my bucket list?
Yeah.
Travel the world more, see more of the world with my wife, and just enjoy the moments with our
Yeah.
kids as well, and build an empire. These are the goals. Man.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's anything specific. It's our 10-year next year, so she really wants to go to Bali, Indonesia,
Wow.
or Dubai. But I'm thinking Bali. Let's see what we end up booking. We got a cruise plan for next year too. We're traveling next year. Lots of weddings this year. I have like 5 weddings this year. My brother, her sister, her cousin,
Wow.
and a like really good family friend of ours who's like family. Like 5 big weddings this year. So, and they're all like just back to back to back to back. So, no time to do much, but a lot of expansion also in the property management side for us. We're looking at a couple more properties on the Miami side and the Dubai side, and then let's see which other market we get into. But it's usually referral based. A lot of it is referral based because people know what it is that we do and
Yeah.
at which level we serve our clients.
Okay. Cool. How do we follow you? Find you on social media with your tag. If we want to get in touch with you, how do we follow you and stuff like that? What's your taglines?
I'm easy. FF
Yeah.
Realtor.
Yeah.
FF Realtor.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
That,
Cool.
And Art of Greatness. That's our company. But yeah, just follow FF Realtor. We're on YouTube, Art of Greatness. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Art of greatness. All right. And then got any question on real estate market? You got Fahad to reach out in Canada, and I'm out here in the Bay Area in California, but reach out for things like that and go from there. And from on the spot, we're out of here. Any final words?
That's it. No, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
All right. Made this.